The Fat Controller's engines are very powerful working on the island of Sodor. Every time when he's shunting them trucks, he always pull coaches and take them on duties. And soon they stopped at Wellsford Station. Just in time. One day, the Fat Controller came to see engines. "Guys," he said, "there's a new jet engine arrived at the steamworks. You must go and visit Peyton and tell them when the new jet engine was." The Fat Controller chose Thomas. "Thomas," he said, I need you to go to the works and tell Peyton what was that in the works." "Yes, sir," said Thomas happily. "And good luck with that," said Percy. And Thomas and Percy and Thomas left the shed. Soon, once Thomas arrived at the works, he saw Peyton there. "Hello, Peyton," said Thomas. "How are you today?" "Oh, very good, Thomas," said Peyton. "And I have to tell you all something," he added. I had to do my work, and I'll be running on your branch line. Is that for sure?" "Of course I will," puffed Thomas happily. But then he saw something right beside him. "That," said Peyton, "is a jet engine. It was always used to go fast and cause speedy or derailments. It's called," he added, "the jet engine. The workman has been tested with it today. And remember," he added, do not just color up to it, or else you're gonna cause an accident." Thomas agreed, but he was too excited to listen. Then, once he backed up and was about to change the points, Nelson came up and took the jet engine away. Thomas was disappointed. Just then, the Fat Controller came up. "Thomas," he said, "you must go back to the shed straight away." "Yes, sir," moaned Thomas sadly, and he puffed sadly away. The next morning, when Thomas arrived back to the works, he could see the jet engine. He had never used it before. "That was easy," he told to his driver. Let me just turn around and then use the jet engine and then go real speedy like Gordon." Soon, his driver and fireman agreed. So Thomas switched lines and coupled up to the jet engine. Then, what Thomas didn't know was the two children were playing basketball, who was playing soccer ball. They were being extremely naughty. But soon as Thomas waited and waited, but now there was trouble. The guy had accidentally threw it right onto the switch. Thomas wasn't shocked. Now the switch had started the jet engine, and the engine began to whine. The whine got louder and louder and louder. Peyton could see what was going on. "What's going on?" he cried. "Stop that jet engine!" But it was too late. Before he could say anything else, the jet engine was rocketing Thomas up the track. "Whoa!" said Thomas. The driver finally tried to put on the brakes, but Thomas wouldn't stop. "Whoa, boy!" The station master called ahead. "Clear the lines! It's the runaway train!" Signals were changed, and points were switched. Thomas had never been so excited. Meanwhile, Percy was at the station collecting all of his passengers, when suddenly he heard Thomas rush by. "Help!" cried Thomas as he went past. Thomas, called Percy, you need to stop. Thomas was far too far behind to hear Percy. Suddenly, Percy's wheels started to move. He puffed too quickly that he came off the tracks. Father, huffed Percy crossly. Now I'm going to be late for all those passengers. It's because of that speedy train Thomas is. Luckily, his driver went out of his cab. I'll get help right away, he said, and rushed away. Meanwhile, Thomas was rushing down the hill. Thomas was still going out of control. How will I ever stop? He cried. Now the jet engine wouldn't stop, and Thomas was still going out of control. Just then, the point switched, and Thomas went onto the other siding. Thomas will never stop in time now. How will I stop this thing? He cried. Meanwhile, the breakdown train arrived and took Percy back on the rails. He was worried that he was kept going again. What he did know was that Thomas was there right behind him. Watch out, Percy! He called. Thomas braked as hard as he could, but it was no use. Until it was too late. Luckily, no one was hurt. But Percy was very cross with Thomas. Now look what you've done, he said sternly. What will the Fat Controller say? Thomas felt terrible. He knew that it was all his fault. I'm sorry, Percy, he chuffed sadly. It was all my fault. I was trying to stop that jet engine, but it was getting out of control. Meanwhile, Nelson arrived with the Fat Controller. She was very cross. Thomas, he said, you have caused confusion and delay. You have coupled the jet engine, started the switch, and now it's going too fast. And now, look at it. It was a little bit destroyed. I'm sorry, sir, Thomas groaned dizzily. But just then, he heard Gordon. He was coming in fast. Then there was trouble. Gordon hit the jet engine with a loud crash. He came off the tracks. Now the jet engine was destroyed. I can't even fix it, puffed Nelson sadly. We need the breakdown train quickly, called Thomas. Gordon sniffed angrily. You fangled nonsense, he huffed. Nelson felt bad. He chuffed Sally away to get the breakdown train. Later, after the breakdown train was lifted, Thomas, Percy, Gordon were lifted back onto the rails. The Fat Controller spoke up to them. Now, engines, he said, Thomas, you must go to the works and get your jet engine be fixed up. And Percy, you will take all those passengers you will take all those trucks to the quarry. Yes, sir, they both said, and they puffed happily away. Later that night, Thomas came home. He had to apologize to Peyton again. I'm sorry, Peyton, he chuffed sadly. I was so sorry not to be think of using the jet engines. I promise I will never use it again. Can we be friends? Of course we will, Thomas, said Payne happily. That's why you should never touch it again. That's right, agreed Percy, and everyone laughed. Even Thomas had to laugh too, and now he had never used the jet engine ever again. Do 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 do
Beep 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 doo doo. Psh psh.